Hi there, welcome to class. I'm Miss Faust. Please make sure you have paper out and a pen or pencil. Yes, indeed. We are going to discuss Pablo Neruda's The Enemy. So you need to take notes. So please do make sure you have paper. Oh, you do. Good job. Great. Okay, so I'm going to go over the highlights of this poem and then I will give you today's assignment. So are you ready? Are you ready to start writing? Okay, let me get my book. Here we go. Yes, Pablo Neruda's The Enemy. Now remember what I told you last class session regarding the party that he was connected to in Chile. Of course, he had to leave the country because he would have been killed because he belonged to what party? Yes, the Communist Party. And that was a no-no in Chile. Okay. Of course, in other countries too, but especially in Chile since he is from Chile. Okay, so that does make a difference in understanding this poem. Just look at the title, The Enemy. The Enemy. It does tell you, gives you a little bit of a clue what's going to, what's going to happen in a sense, who the characters are, okay, so to speak. So, who is the speaker in this poem? Any guesses? Yes? Neruda? Okay. Yes, you could. You could say it's Neruda himself. And yes, he is talking about his enemy. Now, the key here is to understand that the two are from two different parties. Okay. According to scholars and the like, critics that have gone over this wonderful poem, which does have a lot to share, Neruda in this poem does represent his party, which again is the Communist Party. Now, the enemy is considered to be a fascist. So you've got communists versus fascists in this poem. So that's interesting. So that's what I mean. The enemy tells you a lot of what's going to happen. Okay, as I said. I know, I said it already. But that's because it's important. So, are the two going to be, like, tight? No. It would be nice. But no, you can tell right away. They're definitely not going to be buddies. They could try, but it's just not going to happen. Okay. So we have a man, even though they're enemies, they're not friends. Okay. They do visit each other. So yes, in the first stanza, now remember, we're talking like poetic paragraphs. So every time you see one of those, they look like little paragraphs. They're what we call the stanza. Okay. And do remember, then when we talk about poetry, we don't have narrators. We have what? We have speakers. Yes. Okay, that speak the poem in a way. Okay. So yes, we have, 5 stanzas. 5 good stanzas. That's it. It's not that long a poem. So let's try to get the gist of what Neruda is trying to tell us in The Enemy. And again, I know you went, didn't you say that? Yes, I did. Remember, his party does play a role in here. Okay. So we have the enemy who comes to visit the speaker. Okay. And he's, how do I want to say? It says a man hermetically sealed in his truth. Truth is a key word. Please make sure you have that somewhere in your notes. Truth is a key word in this poem. Okay, because when we talk about the truth, we're not talking about in the sense of lies versus truths. We're talking about here, no, not even a jingle. We're talking about points of view. So when we discuss truths, we're looking at points of view. Each one of us has our own truths. Does that make sense? In other words, we have our own points of view of how we see things, of how we view people, so on and so on and so on. Does that make sense? So this is a person who's hermetically sealed in his truth. In other words, he's the kind of person that's it. He just observes his own points of view. That's it. There is no other point of view other than his own. In a sense, these first 3 lines tell you the entire poem. It seems like. Okay. So keep that in mind. He does not look at anybody else's truths. Okay. So we have a comparison, like the use of simile and like a box or strong box. Yes, it is so shut, so tight. There's no way to break it open. You could tell all day long. You can give him evidence that goes against his truth. No, sorry. It's not going to happen. Gives you a reason why they would be enemies. We're not talking enemies as in, they go around and they badmouth each other or anything like that, but they're not going to be friends. Okay. And, okay. So, he has his own way of dealing with life. That's basically what we're talking about in the first stanza, with his own style of breathing, singular swordplay, sensuously stroked to draw blood. Okay. When he talks, when he discusses things, it is so sharp, it could truly squeeze blood out of you. Okay? So keep that in mind. His swordplay, no, we're not talking about swords or anything like that. We are talking about his ability to verbalize. He's sharp. Like a sword. Okay? Okay. So does that make sense? All right. Second stanza. Again, highlights. I'm sure if we went back to first stanza, we could find more. But I'm trying to hit the highlights so you get an understanding. Because Pablo Neruda has, as I always tell with all writers, they have so much to share. And he does have a lot to share. And again, he's coming from the point of view of a Chilean communist. Okay? So he has so much to say here. So deep. So we're going to try to get at least a little bit of that deepness. Okay. Second stanza. He can see how time is aging his enemy. Okay. The years in his face, the eyes, how as we get older, people look and they go, boy, you look like you haven't gotten any sleep. Oh, I did. It's just, sometimes the eyes go before and, okay, you look like you're constantly tired. Okay, once you get old. The lines in the face, as we start, get older, we start to wrinkle and have lines in the face, and, some people throw stuff on there and to get those lines out. Okay. Yeah, well, his enemy is not doing that. He's showing his age. Okay. So, that it lifted his temples, the lines, little by little, to consummate self-love. Okay. Even though he's aging, I'm trying to find the best way to say this. How do I want to say this? Even though he's aging, the speaker's telling us that little by little to consummate self-love. This man has loved himself throughout the aging process, throughout his years. He is full of self-love. Okay? So that goes very well with his truths, only viewing his points of view. Okay. So then, in the third stanza, we get where we chatted a while. So they're talking for a bit, okay? We understand that. So they're talking back and forth, probably discussing what topic. Okay, that's a good guess. And that's a good one. Politics, most likely. Okay, how they view the world, what's happening in the world. Okay, again, remember the time of Neruda's, the years he was alive. Lots of wars, lots of battles, okay, lots of enemies. Okay, so can sometimes it be explosive, their talk. It might not, you may not want to be here. You'd be like, oh, no, that's too, okay, that's too, oh, guys, stop, calm. Okay, calm down, guys, it's okay, calm down. Okay, so he, so they're talking, and just out of nowhere, he pulls out a set of keys. In a sense, we have various interpretations. He actually has a set of keys. He's pulling them out. Okay, he's going, got my keys. Okay, so does that make sense? Yeah, it's good. All right, but at the same time, how do I want to say it? It's not just physical, they're actual keys made to his house, his whatever. But also the keys to what? To understanding him, to understanding the man. Yes, this is the key to understanding me. Okay, me. I am the enemy. Okay, so yes, they have that. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, so they're talking. I think he was silent, but there was impenetrable. Impenetrable. Ooh, that's a word. Takes a little bit. Okay. Even though he's getting the key to trying to understand him, he can't. He can't penetrate. It's like there's a wall around the man, and you're not coming in. And at the same time, he's going, "Here are my keys to the door." Well, that's great. I love that. I love having the keys to the door. But there's one little problem. You still got a wall up. What am I supposed to do? Jump over it? Okay. So it's impossible. He can't penetrate. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think. So I found that stingy integrity. Yes, he is true to himself. The enemy. Do you notice that this poem is about the enemy, isn't it? The enemy. Okay, the enemy who is of a different party from the speaker. Okay, you were going, well, it's all the end. Yeah, it is. But it does, in a way, it does share a little something about the speaker. Okay, integrity. He's true to himself. He loves himself dearly. He wants you to be able to penetrate. At the same time, he doesn't allow you to. Makes sense, contradicts, doesn't it? Okay, and he only views his own points of view, and yours is, I don't even want to hear it. Don't, go away. Okay. Hopelessly buried with power to harm only himself. Me, I knew my own crew. Okay, true. Okay, here's the key. So yes, he is true to himself no matter what. He will remain true. You could do whatever you want to him. Say something to him, hurt him physically, mentally, whatever. It's not going to change it. He's going to stick with what he believes. But funny thing is, at the end, you would think that maybe the speaker, Neruda, would have. This is not saying that this is the way Neruda really believes. It's just that scholars have figured that the speaker equals Neruda. They're not saying 100% that he didn't have different points of view, that he didn't observe other people's point and take them in. Okay, it's just something he's sharing. So please make sure you understand that. Okay, Neruda here is saying that let's go back. We the readers would like to think that Neruda, the speaker, is different. Let's just stick with the speaker. That the speaker is different from the enemy. Let's stick with speaker and drop the name Neruda. That the speaker is different. That he will observe other truths. No. How do we know? My own, I knew, and within me, I knew my own crude truths shamed. He believed his own truths. He didn't care about the enemy's truths. Just like the enemy didn't care about his. He didn't care about the enemy's. He only believed in his. He's the same way. He's not different from the enemy. He's the same way. He's the same as the enemy. He too only believes his truths, his points of view. Okay? So again, he only observes his ideas. They're the only ones that are valid. So it's so much alike. Okay? They truly are so much alike in that sense. They only believe their own truths. Okay, so we talk, each of us honing his daily convictions, yes. They talk, and you would think it gets a little violent or anything like that. It doesn't. There is no physical violence involved. They're not fighting each other physically or anything at all. It's just verbal. Each is convinced that his side is the best. Okay? So, they're not going to be physical. There's just, how do I want to say it? Through verbs. Just verbally. Sorry, verbs. Yeah, verbs is part of it, isn't it? So, through words. That's it. They're fighting each other. Okay? Each tempered by time, two blind men defending their individual darknesses. through time, in other words, as they get older, as they are maturing, getting to that older age, the golden years and the like, okay, they are blind. They're not physically blind, but in a sense, you can say like mentally blind, because they have shut out the fact that you have to observe other truths. You can't just observe your own, and that's it. And nope. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. My truth is it. That's why they're blind. Because they've only observed their own truths. Okay, does that make sense? Defending their individual darknesses. Okay, how do I want to say that? Yeah. So all this time, they've been blind because they've stuck by only their own truths. And they actually will defend that against life or death or whatever situation. My truth is it. Your truth, I don't care about. That's what blinded them. And can they, excuse me, I'm so sorry. And can they exist that way? Can they truly exist by shutting out other people's truths? No, they can't. They can't. Okay? So Neruda does a really good job here, doesn't he? He does use figurative language as in the form of simile, like in the very beginning, like a castle or strongbox. It does use imagery. Okay? You get the idea of sharpness right from the beginning. Sedulously strove to draw blood. We're talking about, and you may hear more about this down the road, shaving. Men are shaving. Sometimes there'll be a little blood spurt and you see a little piece of paper under and you're going, what was that? And they're going, okay. So they draw blood, but this is verbal. Okay? So there's lots of imagery. He does such a good job. And he makes that point so clear. You can't exist by just shutting down and saying, no, your truth, your ideas, your points of view don't matter to me. And that brings us to the theme. Do you have any questions at this point? If you do, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, so let me get to the board. We're doing boards. One moment. So we have the enemy, right? Here's our theme. If you stick with your truths, your points of view only, in other words, truths equals points of view, ideas, and like, your points of view only. And I think there was another word I used. Let me see. Opinions. You could think of it as opinions too. Some people have very strong opinions. They're like, no. Okay. Your points of view only. Then you will isolate yourself from other people. There is the theme that Neruda is trying to show us through the speaker and the enemy. Again, they're coming from they represent two different parties. So two different viewpoints, two different politics. But does that mean, just because you're a fascist, for example, according to scholars, that's what they're viewing the enemy to be, does that mean because you're a fascist and I'm a communist, okay, and the speaker, according, again, communist, because that's what Neruda represented and was a part of, the Communist Party, does that mean I can't believe you? I can't accept what you have to say? And vice versa. You can't accept what I say because I happen to be communist. I'm not and the like. So we can't accept. We can't say I agree to disagree. I don't view it that way. We can't do that. So we're going to shut people out. That's what Neruda is trying to tell us. If you stick with your truths, your points of view only, then you will isolate yourself from other people. These two people, the enemy and the speaker, are isolated from others, even from each other. Even those moments when they get together, it's sharp, razor thick, so to speak. Not razor thin, it's very violent when they get together. But at least they're not harming each other physically, right? Okay. So let me get to your assignment, which is due today. It is paragraph 1. So that means 3 questions. Here's your essay topic. Discuss the... Hold on. Woo! Let's focus on the assignment. The main assignment. Discuss the idea of truth in Neruda's poem. So discuss the idea of truths. And so do today, paragraph 1. What is Neruda saying about truths? Now I'm going to give you a little bit of help. In case you're going, I'm not quite sure. So you may want to jot some of this information down. First of all, please follow the PA writing formula. And then you need to determine 3 ways of understanding truths per Neruda. So I need to see his name in the first question, along with the title of his poem in quotation marks. The enemy in quotation, double quotation marks. Okay. And obviously, your evidence comes from the poem. Remember that. It's all based on the poem. Okay, here's some ideas. What is Neruda saying about truths in each stanza? What does he mean with truths? How do the speaker and his enemy deal with them? What is the speaker's conclusion? What does he learn about himself? Remember I read you that one line about crude. Let's get the word. Crude truths. Shamed. How does he feel? He learned what? He's the same, isn't he, as the enemy? Yeah. Okay. So those might give you some ideas to discussing the idea of truths. Remember, truths, points of view, opinions, ideas. In other words, equals all those examples, truths. Okay. If you have any questions, please contact me. This is okay. So you might say, "Oh, this is a challenging one," but that's good. Again, Neruda has so much to say about points of view, because we can relate, can't we? All right. And then I also like you to answer this question at the bottom. Which country's literature interests you? Are you interested in Italian literature, Russian literature, Portuguese, Argentinian? Okay. Which country's literature interests you? If you like, you can always add why. Okay. So please, paragraph 1. Again, you might want to put a pause to this so you get all this information. Paragraph 1, and then this question's answer. All right. So again, here we are. The theme and the assignment. All right. I'm back. I know I do these little magic acts, don't I? Okay. So all that is due today. Just 3 questions. Okay. And then one little answer. So when you're done, send it off to me. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Till next time, watch those truths. Bye-bye.